Put this on your radar. You need to go play the demo for this game, Sea of Stars, and then check out the full game when it drops on August 29th. I helped fund the Kickstarter for this game over 2 years ago, and I was already thrilled to see a release date, but after playing this demo, I'm even more excited. Let's talk about all the elements that are making this game look great, and why I think you're going to enjoy it even if you didn't play the JRPGs of the Super Nintendo era. To start, Sea of Stars is a turn-based role-playing game made with heavy influence from the 1995 classic Chrono Trigger. So heavy that after the Kickstarter gained some steam, one of the original composers for Chrono Trigger, Yasunori Mitsuda, joined the project to create new music, and the demo has a sample right here. Most of the game follows the same framework as Chrono Trigger, but made sure to add its own tweaks, especially to the combat system. Turn-based combat isn't as popular as it used to be, and I'm happy to see this game trying to add some extra elements like the attack and block timing feature and strategic elements with the enemy vulnerability system. Much like its influence, Chrono Trigger, you control a group of 3 adventurers, and fights take place right on the map you're on. To add a little strategy, you can run up behind an enemy and they will take a small amount of damage, so you have an advantage right away. A lot of turn-based games can devolve into a little boredom as you just attack over and over, maybe use a spell or two, and then move on and use one of your 99 potions to recover after the fight. Certain games became so self-aware about the tedium of turns that they let you program the characters with if-else logic so the battles would run themselves. Sea of Stars updates the formula and adds in a lot of strategy during and after the fight. For starters, you have the attack and block boost system. If you press the confirm button right as your character is about to hit or be hit, you'll get a little bonus damage or blocking. The game tells you this isn't necessary and is just a little extra to shoot for, which seems to be true in the blocking portion, but I found the attacking bit to be a big, important boost, mostly because in addition to the extra damage, it will give you an extra hit, which plays into the vulnerability mechanic. You can change a certain setting to give you more feedback when you're successful. You can see right here, when I get it right, a rainbow star flies up from the character. When blocking, I found it to give me about a 25-ish% damage reduction, which is pretty good, although the attack seems to have a much higher bonus. What makes the attack bonus important is that the enemies have these locks over their heads, which will make them vulnerable when taken away. You can see here that this enemy has 2 sword locks and so needs to be hit by a sword twice. When I get the attack bonus with character Zale, the enemy is hit twice and takes care of both the locks in one turn. In another instance, an enemy needed a bunch of moon damage. The moon character, Valir, has an ability which requires you to hit the attack back at an enemy, and it will keep going so long as you time it right.
So as I watch this back, you don't suppose that could be Valerie, not Valir? Maybe I'm just an idiot. That's probably what it is, yeah.
I thought this mechanic might get tedious, but the window is very generous, and it was just enough to keep me engaged so the fights didn't feel like a chore. Sea of Stars really improves on this from the Super Nintendo RPG days. The fights used to feel like a continuing obstacle that just padded the experience, or were there to grind experience so your character could be stronger. Sea of Stars has a just right difficulty that makes every fight feel important, and you don't get overloaded with them. You can see here, these monsters aren't doing a tiny bit of damage, and I lost one character in a fight. She came back on her own a couple of turns later, and I'm assuming that she would have just gotten up had I won that fight earlier. This game does a great job of making you balance all your resources. You can see that each character has a little magic here, and it refills slightly with each attack. The tutorial tells you there's no need to save up magic, and you're actually wasting it because it regenerates when you hit. 2 of the characters in the demo had healing abilities, so the game loop is a balance of attacking and breaking enemy vulnerability and using your magic abilities when they fill up. Your health and magic remain after the battle as well, so you have to decide if you want to attack and keep that magic bar full for some after battle healing, or if you want to try to end the fight early and blast the remaining enemies with a ball of fire. The game gives you multiple options, and each choice feels meaningful. After the battle, you've got the option to eat some snacks to recover health or magic, but strategic decisions are important again because your bag only holds 10 snacks. When you're cooking food, you have to decide what's important because you only get 10 total. Sometimes I chose to eat and raise one character's magic points when I saw several enemies ahead, so I knew I could do this Moon Boomerang or Sunblast ability right away and damage multiple enemies at the start of the battle. You'll also notice these little glowing bits falling onto the battlefield sometimes when an enemy vulnerability is broken or just randomly when they are hit. Before you choose your move, you you can decide to absorb these to supercharge your next move. Finally, we have the combo meter in the left corner that fills up when you deal or take damage. Just like in Chrono Trigger, you can use these combo points to pull off dual moves or triple moves, like this one where Garl would launch Valir for big damage. The combo points accumulate for the whole party, so you can use them whenever they're ready. I didn't really notice this feature at first, honestly, but it came in handy during the final battle of this demo. So this combat system is surprisingly deep and provides a lot of avenue for strategy. What I'm hoping to see in the full game are some equipables that provide big boosts to one or two stats, or maybe some trade-offs between stats, so you can really lean into a certain playstyle. I did see a glimpse of that idea in the leveling system. During the demo, you'll likely level up once, and you can see here that your characters get a standard boost of stats across the board, but then you get a choice of one stat to boost dramatically. During the demo, I was able to cast one spell, and then I had to charge it up again for a couple of turns, so that extra MP sounded nice. But I was also in the danger zone on health after a few hits, so extra defense or hit points would mean I could choose fighting more often instead of healing. It was really a tough call. As far as the level design and traversal go, again, we're seeing a Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana style, but they've added some verticality, so be on the lookout for hidden treasures like this one that will require you to jump down or spot climbable walls. There's also some light puzzling. You can do this air burst to move blocks around to access different areas. I was extremely impressed by the art design here. Right away, this world has me interested. What is this giant dragon? What are these stone monsters that throw you around like the Cannon Bros? The world has a lot of character and characters. Just like their previous game, The Messenger, Sabotage Studios have a fun sense of humor and like to insert jokes and references. I especially like this pirate wizard with two eye patches that lifts them both when he talks. You can see the town is very bright, and even in this demo, there was a lot to explore. This guy told me he saw someone swim under the dock, so I tried it and found a hidden merchant. Climbing on roofs and exploring for hidden passages will yield treasure, and it wouldn't be a JRPG without fishing, which played into the plot during the demo. You'll need to fish and forage for cooking ingredients, and the fishing system is fun. Cast near the fish, make sure to reel only when they're in the highlighted zone, and voila, you've got dinner. The pixel art looks gorgeous here. It is so well done, and it looks great on modern TVs. I still have a PlayStation 1, and I tried to play Final Fantasy Tactics on a 70-inch television, and it showed its age.
That belongs in a museum!
They capture the retro feel all the way down to the music, which I've had a little bit in this video. They've just done such an amazing job of updating old systems but still retaining the feeling of them. It's a very impressive achievement. If you have not played the demo yet, it is worth an hour of your time to check this one out, and I highly recommend you check out the full game on August 29th, especially if you have a PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass subscription, because it's going to be day one on both of those services. I mean, I'm a little salty because I funded this one and I could have just, I have both of those services. I could have gotten it. But, you know, I'm happy it got made, okay? This game looks great. It doesn't require the lightning reflexes of a shooter, but it's not slow like a farm simulator. I really think you're gonna like this one. Have you played the demo? What did you think about it? Or has this one gone under your radar, but now you're totally convinced by me to put it on your wish list immediately? I look forward to reading your thoughts. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.